Hello, fellow classmates, and thank you for listening to why I think our new mascot should be my cat, Mrs. Pumpkins, because not only is she kind and generous and the best friend a human being could ever have, Mrs. Pumpkins is also the funniest feline and a very handsome feline with good fashion sense and impeccable timing. Show picture. Oh. Now that you have seen Mrs. Pumpkins, I think we can all agree this is the only rational choice for school mascot. I urge you to vote only for Mrs. Pumpkins and no other mascot, because we should all be so lucky as to have a mascot as handsome and generous and inspirational as Mrs. Pumpkins. She is an extraordinarily effective leader with far more wisdom than one could expect from someone just 2 years old. Mrs. Pumpkins is also my best friend, and at night, a warm and generous pillow. I rest my case, and God bless America.
Okay, but Mabel, do you even have a costume? Okay. Don't you think you'll need a costume?
A costume will not be necessary. I am not suggesting that me or another human play as Mrs. Pumpkins. I will simply bring Mrs. Pumpkins to every game, and she will look into your soul, and we will win every game.
Well, look, we're not going to have a live animal as our mascot. It's too much upkeep.
But for Mrs. Pumpkins, you'll make an exception, won't you?
No, Mabel, I'm afraid we can't. And honestly, I'm starting to get a little worried about you. You bring this cat to everything. Homecoming, science fair. When you ran for student body president, you just brought that picture of your cat and said, "This is your president now."
Well, maybe she should have been. Mrs. Pumpkins would have been a perfect president because she is a perfect cat.
Is she, though? A perfect cat? Because she looks like a pretty normal cat to me.
Normal? I'm sorry, normal?
If anything, I'm a little bored.
I am going to make 1,000 copies of this picture, and I'm going to hang it in every room of your house, and then I'm going to take whatever copies I have left and shred it into pasta-like strips and make you eat them, you tall, fat excuse for a man. Eat them until you start to get it.
Oh, what? You're threatening to force feed me pictures of your cat? Why?
Because you're not getting it.
Getting what?
That Mrs. Pumpkins is a prince and a scholar. If I need to make you eat pictures of Mrs. Pumpkins like spaghetti until you understand that, then that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Please just leave, Mabel. Your time is up. We get it. You like your cat. Please leave.
Principal Grugins should be fired. He's a terrible principal. Vote Mrs. Pumpkins. She should rule us. That is all.
Okay, well, that was Mabel and her cat. She was very excited.